Began today at Duluth Lake Superior College, which we're learning is part of a nationwide trend of increasing enrollment at trade schools. Northern News Now's Isabella Zadra got the chance to speak with students and staff about what's behind that growing popularity.
Chatter and excitement filled the halls of Lake Superior College on the first day of classes. But this year, the classrooms feel a lot fuller. LSC enrollment is up about 3% compared to the last fall semester, with a total student population of 2,800. School leaders say this is a big shift from recent years.
We've got some programs that haven't been full that are completely full. Our auto service is full, carpentry is full. We have 2 full sections of firefighting. Thad
Litlua was a student of LSC himself more than 25 years ago and is now the carpentry program instructor. He values the large number of students in his classes this semester because these industries need passionate workers to keep all trades going.
We're needing the manpower and the people to come on board and advance the craft. I mean, we have people that are retiring, aging out. We have skills that we might need to pass on for the next generation coming in.
It is not just staff noticing these numbers rise in class attendance, but students are feeling the community bonds getting stronger. Jessica Jones is entering her 4th year at LSC. She started her college journey during COVID and the time of online classes. This semester, she's able to interact with her fellow students and enjoys how different campus now feels.
There's definitely been more students, even just in trying to find a seat. Sometimes you're like, wow, most of the tables are full now, which has been fun.
In Duluth, Isabella Zadra, Northern News Now.
According to the National Student Clearinghouse, the number of students enrolled in vocational-focused community colleges rose 16% nationwide in the last year, with enrollment at traditional four-year universities falling. The Wall Street Journal cites growing skepticism about the value of an increasingly expensive college education and rising pay and new technologies in trades. Still to come here at 4.